So, these are a few cool gadgets that you can bring into your classroom, or if you're looking for activities for your children on the weekends or some of their friends. Keep them busy, keep them off video games. These build really good skills in terms of analytical skills, working as a team, and then also motor skills. These are all things that are helpful for students when they get into the workplace and also in college. So the first one that we have is, this is your RC plane. It's a good starter one. It comes with a remote, which is here. Costs $399. My girlfriend bought this one for me, and I haven't put it together yet. So this video is actually gonna be on the install process for anybody who buys one and wants help. These are all the parts that come with it. You got your gear, battery, rudder, the frame, propeller's already attached, antennas. Here's your wing with your aileron. And it's made out of a, it's like a styrofoam material. Comes with rubber bands. I've seen a lot of people flying these and they get pretty beat up. So it's hard because the price is $399, but it's a great way to learn the principles of flight. Lift, thrust, weight, and drag. So there are clubs that are around that you can join to learn how to fly these, but if you have a large space nearby your house that isn't in controlled airspace, then this might be good for you. And then another tool is this DIY drone. I'll put that together as well in another video. And then this also Q9, it already is put together. And it comes with a little remote control like this, and spare propellers and a charging tool as well, charging cord. So those are 3 tools that I recommend if you have students that you're trying to get away from video games or other things and you want to teach them some skills. Maybe they'll like it and take it further and study it in high school or college. And maybe it's just something fun for the weekend. But either way, they'll always remember things like this. All right, with all that said, let's get started with putting this together. Time to install. First step is to squeeze here on the propeller and remove this nose cone. Then there's a bolt here. Gently remove the bolt. Loosen it up. Ensuring that you don't damage the propeller or the styrofoam part of the airplane. Make sure you don't lose any of the pieces. Pull that off with your thumb. Now it's time to install the gear. There's a hole here. Take a screwdriver and there's a screw right inside of here. Gently, so you don't strip it. Loosen that up. Turn it 2 or 3 times, but don't remove it all the way. And then from there, this screw comes out. Then you take the nose gear. There's a spot you feel here that's an indent. I don't know if you can see that at all. There it is. The front of that faces forward. And it slides. For this part, I found it helpful to turn it on its backside. Again, remember, don't put any pressure because you'll damage the styrofoam. Line it up and then push it all the way in. All right. After that, look inside, find the screw, tighten it up. Just make sure it's in there good and it's straight. Alrighty, next up, you want to install the main gear so you can get to rolling. Take this piece, push it in. Oops, kind of hard to hold into. And insert it right in here. Being very careful. Just like that. Again, I would put it on its back. There you go. All right, after you flip it back over, these wheels are a little odd. They feel like they're not even installed. So you just have to make sure that they're all the way to the edge. And I couldn't figure out if one way was forward or backwards, but just bring them out, kind of have to bend them so that they're straight as possible. But there you go, that's how that looks. All right, now for this section. So basically, you got your elevator and your rudder. So there's two holes here that have to line up. Vertical stabilizer, up and down. And you have your rudder, which is this piece on the end here that's separated. That controls yaw. It goes like this, back and forth. This piece here is your horizontal stabilizer. And then this piece on the end, separated here, moves, and that's your elevator, like up and down. So this piece moves and allows the airplane to pitch up and down. And then again, this piece moves, which controls yaw. And that moves the aircraft. And on the ground, it allows you to taxi. So just wanted to clarify that. With two holes here. So you place that there. Make sure they're lined up. As you can see, like this. And then these insert just like that. And this is a fragile airplane. You cannot be rough with it. But interestingly enough, it's the #1 RC plane out there. So I guess it's pretty stable. These screws that came with it. So the next step is to flip it back over again. And you've got these two holes here. That goes in there. Okay, I'm back. Lucky for me, I just bought this really nice kit on Amazon that has all these different tools in it. Let's see if I can show it to you. So I can start learning how to build drones. And it has a screwdriver that I need to be able to make this work. Okay, make sure, unlike me, that you have a very narrow Phillip head screwdriver before you start to install those tail screws, because I had to fight with those a little bit. And I want them to there's still a gap, so it's not installed all the way. So I gotta run by Home Depot and tighten that up some more tomorrow. But in the meantime, the next step is to install these connectors that move your surfaces here, your rudder, and then the elevator. Now, the next step is to attach this to your back. Just kidding. All right, the next step is to attach this piece here to your aileron. So kind of the same concept. And then there's little pieces of tape that holds it in place. You just have to remove that, but don't remove too much, and do it very gently so it doesn't tear the styrofoam. So you're gonna attach this to here, that to here. All right, so this is how it looks. I'll just put it on the outermost, and then you have one on this side. There's a tube in here for that, but just make sure these are still sticking out. The next step is to take the larger one of these plastic pieces, take off the adhesive, and apply it here, like so. And the same for this side. There's some adhesive here. Just remove that. Man, it's not really good. Take it. And connect it like so. So there you go. You got two connections, the tubes, and the connections there. It's looking pretty good. All right, next up. So again, it's a little bit offset too. It threw me off for a second, but I guess it's designed that way for aerodynamics. So you have that offset on both sides here. But that's how it's designed. So you have labels here. This say aileron right and aileron left. And they made it pretty easy for you. And here, aileron right, aileron left. So these just plug into here. So you take this here. Make sure your aileron's pointed toward the back. Like so. So now you've got these connected. There's a lot of other wires in there. I can't wait till I learn how to build all this from scratch. Right now, this is a good entry-level way to get started. I'm so glad we don't use rubber bands on real airplanes. That wouldn't be good. All right, so this is what we have so far. We got 8 rubber bands that are going on next. But first, you want to make sure that this is centered. So you want to line up this with that. Try to center it as much as possible. And then you have these little nodules sticking out. I don't know what to call them, but that's what I'm going to call them, nodules. Well, basically, there's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And that's what you have here. So that's how it's looking so far. So the next step is you're gonna take these rubber bands, see if I can do it while I'm holding this. And basically you're gonna bring them over to the back. So I'm gonna put this down so I can do it properly. All right, so again, take this rubber band here, make sure this is centered, and you're gonna stretch it over to the back. Man, I guess I have to get a technique for this. Seems like they're too small, but I think if you stretch them first, Seems like they need to be a little larger, but then I guess you don't want them to loosen up. So if you stretch them a little first, and you can just fit it on there like that, but make sure that it's over the plastic so it doesn't damage the styrofoam. That's the purpose of that. I'll show you how it looks. The first one, and then you're gonna do all 8. I'm gonna pause it because it's not pretty. But anyway, you're gonna do 2 diagonal, like this, and then you're gonna have 2 going back and forward. So I'll be right back. Okay, that was probably my least favorite part. I guess that's why I should have taken the propeller off. So if you have somebody to help you, it's a lot easier, but when you're doing it by yourself, definitely try to stretch the rubber band out a little bit first. Not too much because it'll get too loose. And then I found it helpful to start from the back, go to the front. So you have 2 rubber bands. Let's see, 4. Let's see, 2 on this side. Anyway. That tired me out. Okay, you have 2 going this way, and then 2 that way. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. And I didn't damage the styrofoam. I made sure I kept it on the plastic. And if you decide to take this out to the field, you get to have fun of taking it all off. And that's how you transport them, by taking the wings off. Unless you have a big SUV or something where you can put it in there and secure it, and then you don't have to take it off. And then they also recommend checking these out every time you fly, making sure they're secure, and then buying new ones as well, which I think you can buy online or at a hobby store. So, all right, this is what we have so far. I'm so glad the airplanes we fly aren't secured this way. I don't think I would be flying, but it's cute. Okay. All right. One thing I will say is I regret taking off the propeller. If you have somebody to help you, I would keep it on if I were you, because you can still access the screw for the landing gear here with it on. But I'm gonna need something to hold it to actually put it back on. So I would recommend not taking it off if you don't have to. Just make sure you don't damage it. But anyway, I gotta go get another tool to hold the inside of this, because when I turn it now, it's just turning the inside of the propeller, and it's not tightening it back on. So anyway, that's one lesson learned that I would pass on. So the next thing in advance, before you even start putting this together, if you want to fly it right away, is your battery. You have a battery here. You have this cable that hooks in, and another one. And then basically you could just plug it into a USB charger. I just use my Apple one. But this is what comes in the box, all these pieces. So again, I just plugged in the USB-C into charger. Plug this in here so that it aligns with the shape of the hole, and then plug this last piece in here. And then it actually has colors on it. On this side, this lights up so that you know when it's charged. I think it's purple and white are the colors. So anyway, for now we're gonna just remove it and say it's charged, ready to go. And then this here is going to, see if I can show you. It's gonna go inside of there. So you gotta unloosen those straps and just plug it into the one port. I'll show you how it looks when it's done. So you got some straps here. I think I'm gonna plug this in first, so I don't have to worry about doing that after. Oh yeah. This battery is pretty heavy. And then you've got some room where you can just kind of tuck that down inside. This cable doesn't go to anything here. You can just tuck that in there safely. And then these straps, you're just gonna tie them in like a little seatbelt. Nice and tight and secure. And actually messed up because the bottom one got caught under there. I could just take it out with a screwdriver. So just make sure you keep both sides hanging out so you don't have to do that. And then we get that Velcro in there. Nice and tight. So they don't want to be moving around when you're flying. That's how the battery should look. Cable's all tucked in. Straps nice and tight to hold it. And then you just close it up. Pull that to the side. So there we go. Turn this over. And it's all put together. Again, before I fly this, I'm gonna make sure that I tighten this this nose cone up in the propeller, because it's just spinning on me. I need something to hold it. Again, don't take it off if you don't have to. Just make sure you don't damage it. And then I'm gonna also tighten this up as well and not over tighten it to make sure that's more secure. But for the most part, it's all set. All right, after you hit the power button, which is here, you'll see a light on. And then you come over to the aircraft and there's a power button hidden there. Turn that on. Oh yeah. And you see it doing a check. The rudder's moving, the ailerons are centered. So the good thing is it's already programmed from the factory. See the green light there? So, let's see. This is my first time, so let's see if we can do a little check. Now, this is different from a drone controller from what I understand. Okay. This does your elevator, so watch. Can you see that? All right, so that's gonna control your pitch. Now over here, you got right and left, controls your ailerons. You go to the right and to the left, so it's gonna move one up and one down. So that's good, we installed it right. The next is gonna be your rudder, which is your yaw. It's to the right and the left, so watch that. I need to charge the battery somewhere. And then I don't have the propeller installed all the way, but basically on this controller, your throttle is here. It's different from a drone. So this will control your throttle and your power. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll make another video once I get the propeller installed all the way. I'll charge up the battery and we'll do a test flight. But it's a cute little trainer plane. I can't wait to show this to some of the students in Chicago when it gets warm outside. And we'll take it up, see if we can fly it, and bring it back in one piece. Thanks for watching. Oh, in the meantime, keep it weird.